Welcome to the Angelscapes podcast, where you're encouraged to uncover and develop a direct connection with your soul's power, wisdom, and spiritual intuition that is ready to blossom. We'll explore new ideas, compelling tips, and real steps to help you learn simple spiritual practices. We're a safe place to learn more about accessing your soul's power with education and spiritual wholeness that could bring more clarity to your life. Now here's your host, a practicing medium, Akashic Records practitioner, spirit artist, coach, and mentor, Dr. Reverend Nancy Smith.
Would you like to see a mediumship demonstration, and would you like to watch a medium, that would be me, draw a spirit's face during a demonstration? So hello, this is Angelscapes, and I'm your host, Nancy Smith. I'm the medium. I'm going to be bringing in spirit communicators to some volunteers who are waiting in the wings. And I'm really excited about showing you this live, because lots of people keep asking, what is this mediumship stuff? And what do you mean you draw? How is it that you're doing that? So let me tell you a couple things about mediumship and a couple things about spirit art before I get going. Mediumship is about connecting to loved ones in spirit and describing them and bringing in information about them so that the person, the sitter, I call them, can understand who their loved ones are in spirit. And then once we get the connection going, there's messages that they're bringing from heaven or from the other side or the other dimension where spirit lives. And the thing that I also do is draw. Once I start blending in with spirit, I start to draw a sketch, a face. And the idea, the intention is that it will be the face of the spirit that I'm connecting to. And occasionally it will be the face of somebody who's connected to that spirit. The other day, I did a reading and I brought in a woman, her son that had passed, but another gentleman kept coming in, and he was the father of the son, and I drew his face. It was like, well, he just really wants to know his mother to know. He just wanted everyone to know that he was there to bring the son home. He was in his late 20s when he passed, and it was very beautiful, proving the continuity of life, but it was also very beautiful of proving how spirit is loving and caring and does a lot of learning and growing on the other side. I did draw a second image of her son, which was pretty close to what he looked like. Now, and I said pretty close to what he looks like. Here's the other piece that I want to explain to you. These are not Kodak moment images. If you remember, or maybe you don't, have you ever seen somebody make a caricature of somebody on the sidewalk? They have the little easel set up and they're just going to draw them real quick. And they're what they see of that person. They're not exactly perfect, but you'll see parts of their face or nose or chin or eye that reminds you of that person. Or there'll be a personality that shows through that will remind you of who the person is that I'm bringing through from spirit. So don't take yourself out because the drawing is not the spot on thing that you want. You want to look at the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Sometimes spirit will come in 20 to 30 years younger. Sometimes all of a sudden their hair grew back in heaven, or they're not wearing their glasses anymore. And how I'm getting the information is from spirit and my spirit guides who are bringing me the information. And sometimes I'm getting it clairvoyantly. A lot of times not clairvoyantly. I'm not seeing them. I'm feeling them clairsentiently. I'm getting it through claircognizance, which is an understanding in my mind. And sometimes it's just straight out channeling where they're guiding my hands to draw. And I kind of hear, not over there, make that chin a little droopier, that kind of thing. And so I'm not seeing anything. Sometimes when I'm doing these drawings, I'm just feeling it out. I'm moving my pencil all over the page to see, does it fit here? Does it go here? And as I'm drawing, I'm getting more information from the spirit. So I wanted to explain this to you. So if you worked with me to get a mediumship spirit drawing session, or if you worked with somebody else, you can understand that it's the energy that's coming forward. Now, here's the other little tidbit of information. you could have a picture of your mom, or say everyone in the family knows mom, and they all have an idea of what mom looks like, or what mom's gonna looked like when she was alive. And then you have mom's best friends who think they remember what mom looked like. And it's not the same memory. It's a different face, a different perspective. And then you're having spirit who's been in spirit for a while, and how they remember how they looked and how they perceived themselves to look. And they're going to be giving me information. It's not going to be your information. It's not going to be through your eyes. It's going to be through their eyes. And they, some of it's memory of what they look like when they were human, when they were here in their human form. And they still have those faces. And some of it's their guides and my artist guides telling me what's happening there. So it's a miracle that it's even happening in my point of view, from my perspective. And so please do enjoy this time, and let yourself really watch and explore this aspect, this little aspect of a miracle of what's going on here. Just reminding you that spirit sees themselves from the heavenly realm, and it's my intention to draw the human likeness of the spirit as they were alive. And it will be there will be pieces in the drawing, hopefully, that will remind you of your loved one. So I'm going to give this a little bit of start. I'm going to start to I have a couple of people that I'm going to admit into the room. We have a nice group of people coming in. I ask everyone to stay muted, and when I call on you, or if you recognize who I'm talking about, just raise your hand and let me know that you know the communicator. So I'm going to do what's called direct. I'm going to go directly to a person, and I'm going to ask spirit, I'm going to ask who's with this person. I'm going to start to describe them. Now, if I miss and somebody understands who it is, raise your hand. If the person I'm talking to is going, I really have no idea what you're going to talk to. And what everyone's going to say is, when I bring this communicator through, communicator is the spirit, sitter is the person I'm talking to. You're going to say, yes, I understand. No, I don't understand. Or, mostly yeses, but tell me no right away. So if I'm going down the wrong path, just let me know. And everyone watch, please. And I want to say hello to everybody who's watching me live. You guys are awesome for coming on and seeing this. And so I'm going to have everyone kind of sort of mute, and we'll go on. So thank you everyone for coming on. I want to try to I have lots of people here, and I'm going to try to get to everyone. So these readings are going to be spot readings, very, very quick. But you can, as quick as you can possibly be quick. So is everyone muted? Do you all have your self muted up a little, guys? Beautiful. So I usually say a prayer. I said a prayer before while I was setting up, and I just asked that the spirit come forward and really support this work here. And I ask for a beautiful circle of love and protection, and bringing up the vibration, and thanks, just with thankfulness and gratitude for everyone that's coming. And I wanted to start with Laura Joseph, not getting your middle name. And Laura, as I blend in with you, give me a little kind of a second here. Yeah, Laura, I have to say there's a woman coming through, but there's a lot of spirits behind her as well. But as this woman comes through, she comes through older than you, and she comes through with a strong motherly vibration. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean she's your mother. We got to find out if it's true, but this woman was definitely a mother. And I also feel like to you, if she wasn't a mother, she was definitely a mentor. And I feel that she comes in, she has a nice bit of height to her. I'm 5'9". I'm not sure she reaches to my height, but I feel like she could almost go nose to nose to you. She has broad shoulders. She's built from, I call, pioneer stock. She's strong. And I feel that she passes, as she goes up in her age, she passes after retirement for sure. And I also feel like she did kind of move through to, I'm not quite getting the number yet, but I want to get into my 70s or way past my 70s. So Laura, I want to bring in one more piece of evidence and let's see if we understand her. She's showing me she loves to kick off her shoes and go barefoot. And there's something about being I feel like she would go barefoot out in the yard sometimes too, and poke around with either gardening or just poke around and be outside. And I wouldn't be surprised if she at some point in her life did a little composting, did a little gardening. Do you recognize her, Laura?
You actually might have a split.
Okay, all right. Well, that could happen. So
Because
okay,
I can see that in two people. I feel like you might have two.
okay. Well, let's keep working on that. I want to say the split the woman who I'm seeing in barefoot and gardening, I feel like that could be a second energy, but the motherly energy is a very strong person going up their 70s is
Yes.
another one. Okay, perfect. So we had a little somebody sneak right in if they could. So I'm gonna go stick with the original communicator, and I feel like she's a little oh she's comparing them to each other. I don't know if they knew each other, but she's I feel like she's a little more strict or a little more conservative in her presentation. She may not have run around barefoot like the other one did. I feel that there is some kind of connection with the first one to either some kind of a religion or a faith. I'm not going headlong into it, but it is in my background in my life for most of my life. Do you understand that?
They both were.
Okay, good.
And two different religions.
Well, we don't. But the first woman, oh, I'm going to have to go back and forth here. I really want to narrow it down to one because I just want to draw one face, but maybe the face will.
And if I could just help you just a tad, they were very much butted heads with each other. So I'm not surprised they're coming in butting heads with you.
Oh, that's hilarious. So they did know each other. The first woman, you don't see me on screen so much because I'm starting to work with the pencil, but the first woman, she talks to me with I have my kitchen in order. I have things lined up very nicely in my house. I like to cook. I'm a good cook. I am a precise cook. They both like to cook. The second one threw things into the pot and made it delicious. The other one was very exacting how she measured things out. Could you understand that? Beautiful, beautiful. I think it's going to get sorted out in the drawing, to be honest with you. But both of them cared very much for you. Both of them, I have a sense that it's almost like you brought them together. They were talking because they knew you. Does that make sense? You were in the middle. One was on one side of the family, the other one was on the other side of the family, and there you were right in the middle. If you could say
one's my mother and the other one's my father's mother.
Okay. Oh, yeah, cheated. He told me who they were. But so this woman that I'm drawing has her hair is cut a little bit shorter. I move in. And I feel like I'm with the woman who has a little more as I draw her hair, I just feel like it's done very nicely. That was really important for her to keep her hair and her appearance were important to her. For the other one, it's like, let me just run and brush through it and I got it. We're good. This one presentation was very, very important as we blend in here with her. I feel I want to put glasses on her as well while she was alive. And I also feel as I put glasses on her, I have you know the cheaters, you can put them on a chain and you can just drop them down in front of you. I would have had something like that going on as well. Either I need to wear two glasses or I just don't wear the glasses I should be wearing. But I also feel that, do you understand that?
She has about 10 cheaters because she couldn't find them.
Well, there you go. And they're all colors. They're gorgeous. They're all colors. And I also feel that as she got older, older in her years, I'm not getting around all that well. So I'm very simply dressed. I have very bright colors on and I have very simple, easy to put on clothes and outfits, but I do like to wear And I'm wondering if I'm splitting this up again. I do like to wear robes or dresses or
I'm
something.
splitting.
Splitting again. Oh, there you go.
I'm not surprised that they're fighting to be it because
Well, they both love you to pieces, and they both want you to know that they're there for you. You've gone. I'm just going to go right. They're going to just chime in and give me both the messages, and I'm hoping we can recognize one of them in the drawing. Sometimes, you know, if they split, then I got the bottom of one and the top of the other one. But as I hear their messages, they're acknowledging the all the phases you've gone through in your life. And you've had a lot of challenges, and I know that personally because I know you, but I also want to say that you've weathered it well, that you graced yourself through all of the things that you have been through. You aced it. It's just like you worn your struggles with grace, and you've come in with a beautiful conclusion or resolution to all these things that maybe weren't going to get resolved in your life, but you've come to peace within yourself. And I feel that they, I want to say they have learned, as much as they support you and stuff, they have learned a tremendous amount from you. So, do you want to, if you could understand that, that you've got their, but you've also got their, she did good with that one. You have been, I know you have your own business. I already know that personally, but they're talking about you. Either you're bringing something new in with your business, or you're changing something up and letting something go. And so you could focus on something that you love even more. But there are some changes happening. You help a lot of people, you support a lot of people, you've made a beautiful community, but there's something that you're stepping into that is very creative just for you. That will end up helping people, but you're focusing on you with the creation, and they want to give you their blessings and their love. And can you see a little bit of what I'm drawing here?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see because it's not on the like speaker mode or anything.
It's not on the speaker mode. It's
So
in.
you might have a combination, but I do see more of my mother in there. But I feel like you got parts of both. It's like I think you got my grandmother's mouth, but my mother's face, hair.
Yeah, great. Well, I was wondering if that would happen because they were both chicks. They
Well,
both.
and I'm not surprised because they fought and went head to head in real life with each other. They kind of got along because they had to.
Yeah, because of you.
Or my dad.
Yeah, the way. But I give you they're both of their love, and
Thank you, thank you, Nancy. I would say Kathy. Kathy.
and I'll post these drawings afterwards. I'll take snapshots of them and post them underneath.
And if I could just share, I don't know if I have this, but if I can share, where are you? I don't know if I have it. Oh no, I don't. Oh yeah, well, I mean, the only I have left is this one here, my mother, but you got her hair to a T. That was actually the day that she passed, but you can't really see it too well.
Okay, got it. Beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah.
I can't really see that hardly at all. So we'll just send it to me and I'll put it with the photo. I mean, with the drawing. Thanks. Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So great. We're gonna keep moving along, and
and the new thing is wanting to lead at least one retreat to do the healing work, but do it on destinations. So we're doing like a pilgrimage to Ireland to unpack trauma and unpack stories on sacred lands.
Wow.
So that's what we're doing new, just so you know. So you got it.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go, Laura, and move over to Michelle. Can I come to you, please?
Yes, thank you.
So as I blend with Michelle, I want to give myself a big kick in the butt because I forgot to turn the recorder off. So we're going to have to pull this down from Facebook. Anyway,
You could turn it on now, though.
all right,
Um,
let me do that. Let me find that button. There we go. Thanks, guys. So, Michelle, as much as I thought I knew who was going to come through, I have a gentleman coming through. Um, and as he comes in, he has there's a very mild manner to him, and he comes in kind of dressed to work outside, to work in the garden. It's like he's got a spade or a shovel in his hand, or he's kind of really ready to do some yard work, but it's not just lighthearted yard work. I mean, he's a fellow that I feel like he passes older, and he has a working man's hand. His hands are he's been working his whole life. I feel like sometimes the knuckles get a little larger, and as you really use some a little tiny bit of arthritis. But I feel like this is a man who would be the ultimate do-it-yourself kind of guy. How he's related to you, I intuitively want to pull him to be part of your family somehow. And are you recognizing him at all? You can say no. You're not sure. All right.
Yeah.
This is where I say, everyone listen. So I'm going to go in deeper to him. All right. So I want you to go in your Wayback Machine a little bit. When you were much younger, you're home. You're still living at home. And I feel that this is somebody who, if he's not connected to you as an uncle or a grandfather, I would connect him to you as a neighbor who was very neighborly, was very, he was older. I think he maybe just a wee bit older than your parents, and he would have been around doing, just either as a neighbor working on his yard or coming in and working on your parents knew him. Does this ring a bell at all with you?
Well, I thought before you said that he wasn't related. If he is related, I would say that's possibly my grandfather.
Grandfather? Okay, so
Yeah.
let's keep working on, because this is a fellow, the feeling that I get from him is that I'm very helpful to your parents, or I'm around. And I feel like that if not dad, mom was very helpful to him as he got older, because I feel like him as getting older and needing care. Although is that not right? Am I losing you?
Yeah, I'm not connecting there.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to think of who else, in my life when I was little.
Yeah, let's stick with grandfather just for a little bit. Because maybe there's some things that you just didn't quite know. But do you understand him coming around the house and doing stuff around the house, or hanging around the house?
Yes.
And then maybe him and your dad would be outside doing stuff.
He was an electrician, and I know he worked outside a lot.
Okay, so we know that. But I want to put him closer to your dad than your mom for some reason. I just want to have them be doing things together, or they're just talking together, or something like that. Would you make sense? That makes sense to you? Mom, maybe. Oh, okay. So again, this is a point. At some point, if anyone really understands everything I'm saying, just raise your hand and shift over. But I do feel like I am with you, and I'm pushing this a little bit hard. That he why did he come in? Do you understand him? Being not a farmer, but a gardener? Do you understand him working in the yard at all? You don't understand that at all, because that seemed like that was an important thing about him. Let's relax.
Are you still with me, Nancy?
Do you recognize this fellow?
I might.
Okay. Is anybody okay? Does anybody else recognize him? Do I have any other takers? One going once, going twice. Pavel, you understand?
Maybe. Yeah, it could be somebody I know.
Okay, so this session, I'm getting a run for my money. Well, let's just go for it. The gardening was really important to him, and it wasn't a frivolous gardening. It was hard work. He was really landscape and some stuff. And I also feel that he is related. He's relatable. He's related to, there's a connection, a caring connection. I also feel that he has a mind of his own, kind of does life on his own time in his own way. He has some really strong ideas about how life happens and how life works. And it may not go along with what everybody else thinks life happens and how that life works. So I feel like I'm with Laura or Pavel. Do you understand this still, little Pavel?
Yeah, I understand, but that gardening is, yeah.
Working, yeah,
No, my
But well,
father should have been a professional gardener and he wasn't.
he wasn't. Okay. All right. Let me sketch him up and see where we land. As it sometimes when as I sketch him up, I feel like he was a little, yeah, he's sweating. I mean, he's put a lot of sweat equity into what he does, and he does it beautifully. It may not be my full, it's not how I make my money. It's not my full job, but it's a love. And Shannon is coming in saying it sounds like her father-in-law as well. So we can bring Shannon on. You want to unmute yourself and give me some of your thoughts? Are you there still, honey?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are. There you
Oh,
are.
okay. Yeah, it kind of sounds like my father-in-law.
Okay, well, we're gonna keep working and see where we go with this.
And he was big about being outside and in the garden.
Okay. I think the universe just wants everyone to see how hard I work sometimes. Or I don't. I was saying, please just make this easy so that everyone knows who they got, and then I can just go for it. I really feel like I'm feeling it in my hands. My hands towards the end of my life, I'm feeling it, and they're I'm actually aching in one of my hands. I also feel that I work physically for a job, for a living. I'm not going off to the office and then coming back home. I feel like I'm fair-skinned. So being outside is lovely, but I have to, I'm going to come in pretty beet red in the summer if I don't wear a hat or if I don't, but I'm a guy, so I'm not going to necessarily put on sunscreen. What else? So he has, and his skin shows it. I have to say he passes older, and I know that Michelle didn't understand this, so I want to put out there that I do feel like he needs some care as he gets older, that he becomes fragile, and family is looking out for him. Whether he may stay at home or not, but he can't be getting on those ladders anymore. He can't be doing that hard work, but he still does. So who am I with?
True for me, but the whole gardening thing didn't really fit at all, and
Okay.
didn't have a relationship with my dad, so don't know.
No, okay.
Everything to a T. What you're saying, don't climb up ladders, was something I told him not to do.
Okay.
It's
Pavel,
crazy. Like I'm just like I don't want to be hogging it, so I'm like,
how are we, Pavel? Where did I lose you? You still with me?
no, I'm still with you, but yeah, some things don't fit.
Okay.
Yeah, family. Yeah, I don't think it's anyone for me.
Okay. All right. We're just gonna go with the flow here. Shannon, are you with me, or did you drop away?
So he died young at 56, but near the end, especially the last 5 or 6 years, his health wasn't good, and he was supposed to be immobile and to stay put and stay off ladders and things, which he was constantly caught on, and my husband would have to treat him kind of like a child, like, Dad, no, go sit down, and make him. He even shattered the bones in his feet because he wouldn't stay still. He was very fragile.
Okay, you were understanding the fragility. Okay, we need
Yeah.
thing to bring this home. Um, and you both understand that he worked physical for a living. He did not go to the office and then come back home and work on the house. He was working hard. And I feel that are you with me with working hard for a living as Laura and Shannon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
but the drawing might be looking more like for her, I think. Doesn't
Okay.
quite look like my dad, so I think he might be with Shannon.
Shannon, how's the drawing going? Are we bringing it home with the drawing?
From the nose up it does, but he had um like a lot of facial hair, so I'm not quite sure like how his mouth was because it was always like a big shaggy mess.
Okay.
But I mean, from here up it does.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I wasn't bringing any facial hair in here, so we will just let that be. Thing.
Maybe you have a mix.
No, let's not do mixes. We want to bring him home. He's definitely for one person. All right, I'm asking him for one more piece of information. And what I'm getting is a dog, a nice, a beautiful, not a tiny dog, but a nice, big, like maybe a 35 pound dog, and he's a mixture, it's a breed, and he's kind of a mutt, and I feel like he has darker fur on him. Do you understand that, Shannon? Somewhere there.
I know my husband as a child, their child dog was, I can't remember what it was, but it was a smaller, medium-sized dog that was black with white on the chest and white paws.
Okay, this dog, I think that I'm with you because of the dog. It doesn't necessarily have be the dog that was with him the day he died, but it was definitely a dog, and I feel like this dog was everyone loved this dog in the family, and the dog was a hot mess. He was just really dog city. So I want to give you I think that I'm with you, Shannon, and I want to give you his love, and he reaches out. You said this was for your father-in-law. He reaches out to you. He reaches out to your husband with a lot of love and encouragement, and I feel like there's some heavy lifting still in your world, in your house, and in what you're doing, and I feel that he wants to, in this from the spirit side, he's coming in to help you work on things in your world, and he's saying put in a garden, you love it. That's what. And I think you do have gardens, but he's really helping you with them. It's time to close up the gardens now that it's the fall, but he's been with you with everything around the house, and he's giving you his love. So thank you was around the block a few times, but thank you for taking him.
Thank you.
Nancy, there are folks on Facebook saying that they can't see the drawing, and it might be because you've pinned yourself.
Let me just pin the drawings now. Hold on. I'm not sure how to get the pin out of here. Oh, here it is. There we go. We're just going to work with this then. I think my face shows up when I start talking. So, and this is for Shannon. Well, thanks for taking him, Shannon.
Thank you.
All right. So try going indirect. We're going to work with I have an indirect means I'm going to start describing somebody, and then and it's for somebody here, and when you recognize who it is, start raising your hands. But I have a woman here that comes in, and she shows herself as well, the first thing that she shows herself is in a kitchen, is an industrial kitchen. I feel like she's got a lot of mixing bowls around her. She's got a lot of cooking around her. And I feel that she would have loved to cook for family, but she also cooked for others. I feel like there's some, I hear the word industrial, and I feel that she was on her feet quite a bit. And it was her job. It's part of her working job. Either whether she worked for a baker or she worked for someplace. It wasn't her business. It was somebody that she worked for. She calls in. She has a couple of kids that she raised. I have a feeling that she was not set in a rural situation. I feel like I want maybe to have more than two. But I also feel that she worked really hard because she came up from not having much, and both her and her husband worked hard, and I feel that she ended up being probably an important breadwinner within her family. She has grandkids. More grand. There you go. Do we mute you? More grandkids than she had kids. And she loved them all. I feel like she had trouble with her feet and her legs as she got older. And then nobody's raising their hand. Does anybody understand this great lady? Pavel, you understand her? Thanks.
Yeah, not perfectly, but yeah. So the legs make sense, and grandkids, yeah, that makes sense.
And do you understand? Does the cooking make sense to you? Which
yes and no. Yes and no. In some sense, yes, it makes sense.
Well, I want to put her into a situation where it's kind of a big kitchen or industrial, and it could be that she's doing church meals or something like that, or she's helping out with. But I can put on a meal for a lot of people. I know how to feed a big group of people. Maybe they're
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yes.
And I would have had a lot of cooking bowls and cooking utensils around me, and I also have to say I have a big nice counter space that I could work on, or a big kitchen table that I could work on.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. And nobody goes hungry around her, and I feel that she has many people coming in to eat that don't have enough to eat, or just are stopping in because they know that she's probably got something good cooking. So she feeds everyone in not just in her family, but in her circle. And she has a large circle with her family, with their friends. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start to give her to draw. I feel like she has as I see her hair's has gone gray. It's kind of salt and pepper, more gray, and and she pulls it back either in a bun or in a ponytail in the back of her head. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And she doesn't have a lot of she doesn't have a, how can I say this? She's very frugal with her money, and I think partially she doesn't have a lot of money, but she doesn't have a lot of fineries, a lot of fine clothes, or she's very simple.
Yeah. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. And I also feel that towards the end she has put on a little bit of weight. Do you understand that?
I understand, yes.
Okay. And you understood the feet and the legs, but I also may be having a little trouble with blood sugars. Do you understand that? You could say no if that's not true.
Oh, I don't know that.
Okay.
But it's quite possible, yes.
Okay. I love my sweets. I love baking the sweets, the cakes, although the savory stuff, the good hearty meals are there, but do you understand her with a sweet tooth?
Yes.
Okay. And I feel like there's always cookies there for the grandkids.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and they're all snacking together. There's milk and
Yes.
cookies, and they're all having
Yeah. The cookies, yeah, that's really accurate.
yeah. Oh, they were delicious too. They were delicious. She had quite the recipes. And I don't know if you know this because it's very specific, but she could throw cookie batter together in no time, but she just knows things by heart. A little of this, a little bit of that, a little over here. And I
Yeah.
sometimes just make it up with what I have in the cupboards too. And if you said, could you give me this recipe? She'd be like, oh, I don't really know. I just, yeah,
That's very, yeah, I can take that.
good. Oh, good, good. Great laugh, loved to laugh and could tell stories. And I feel that listening, she went through quite a lot of history in her life.
Yes,
And so she had a lot of stories, and I want to say even stories about a war, some war.
yes,
Uh,
that's correct.
and she was very brave, extremely brave. She has a lot of courageous stories about what happened during the war and how she helped people. She's very young, but it affected her and her family quite a bit. Do you understand?
Yes, that's correct.
Mm,
That's very accurate.
thank you, thank you. And I'm just going to keep drawing for a second. But to tell those stories, she always has people over laughing, doubled over laughing. Do you understand that?
I understand. Yeah, that's very accurate.
But you wouldn't want to get on her bad side if you were being naughty. The kids, if they were being naughty, nobody was really naughty around her because she would let them have it.
That's correct. Yeah, that's very accurate. Yeah.
She was she wanted her kids and her grandkids to feel loved, but she also wanted them to behave because that's good. If you're a good kid, you got to behave. And as I blend with her too, I feel like has a very strong faith.
Yes,
And
that's correct. That's very correct.
okay. She wanted her kids and her grandkids to excel in education. I don't feel that she had an education that she would have liked. I feel like she's a very smart woman, but she wasn't going to let her family get away with not being educated. Could you understand her?
Yes, that's very accurate. That's very accurate.
So well, since we know that we definitely have her, let's talk about the message and like what she's come here to say to you. And I'm so glad you took her. That she talks about you coming into your faith from the back door, kind of a way. Like she's seeing that you are developing a very strong spiritual sense about yourself, and you're not necessarily going to sign up for a particular religion. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you were raised that way, but you definitely shy away from it. And
That's
but
very accurate. Yeah.
yeah, but she's very happy to see you coming into a sense of the spiritual aspect of yourself, because she's saying that's where your strength will come from when you really need it. She's very thrilled with what you're doing with your life, and she's saying things stop and go sometimes. You run into a couple of disappointments, but she's saying that you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. You just be patient with how things and things are going to fall into the exact right place where they need to be. And it's hard to believe that when you're a logical thinking person, but she says that not only will everything work out, but you'll be in the exact right place for yourself when the time comes. And so she gives you her love, and thank you for taking her.
Yeah, this is great. This is very accurate. You actually, yeah. Do you want some, my feedback? Yeah, that's my grandma actually. This is a pretty good sketch. And yeah, you're really accurate about cooking, about stories about the world. She never complained. She always talked about it in a very positive way. I never met a more positive person, and she went through a lot in her life. Her life was like a roller coaster. I think like you could yeah, all the experience, it would be enough for 5 people, so this is really accurate. And she was really into family and very religious. And yeah, I spent a lot of time with her, and she could cook anything you could think about. She taught me how to bake actually. This is really
Wonderful.
yeah,
Wonderful.
this is very accurate.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, you're so welcome. I bet you got some of those really good cookies back in the day. So,
Oh yeah.
thank you so much, Pavel, for taking that. And well, I think that going indirect seemed to work, so I'm gonna try this again. Who is here? I have another gentleman here, and I feel like I'm going back to the gentleman. I also have a woman coming in. Who am I going to go with? So they pop in. I'm going to go with the woman. She's coming in very, very strong. Like she could be connected to the gentleman who tried to come in earlier. I'm not clear. But this woman comes in as a kind of a big heart, just a really big heart, kind of a go-getter. I feel that she their end of her life, she was alone, a widow. I want to say more of a widow, or I don't not sure it's a divorce. I think it's more of I've lost my partner. However it happened, and I also feel that I'm doing my best to be independent and on my own, but at some point I can no longer be on my own. I do love nature. I do love being out of doors. And I have children. I think I want to say children, but if it's not two, it's one. And one in particular child looks after me pretty well. I can, and her personality feels like I want to do it my own. I want to do it myself. I want to figure out my own life. I don't want to be a burden to anybody. I want to be as independent as I possibly can. And I also feel that I don't have a lot. I have enough to live on, although I'm not a wealthy person. I feel like she worked in her life, and she has as I feel her interests, I feel like she loves to read. She loves the nature. She loves to go for walks. And I may have struggled with some arthritis in my legs or my knees or something. So I don't quite do everything that I want to do. Am I with anybody here yet? Anybody have somewhat of a recognition? Just a little bit. All right. We need to get more information here. As I blend with her, I feel she wears her hair. Her hair goes gray, but I feel like it was kind of strawberry blonde or a lighter, kind of lighter brown, with a little red in it. And as she gets older, it's more white. And I want to put her in with I see children around her. Possibly she's a teacher, or possibly she's working in a place where there are children. I'm gonna actually, if no one recognizes her, let her go. Because I'm not seeing any hands come up. If there's anybody live who understands her? Yeah. Not so far. So, I also feel that as she ages, as she ages and wherever she's living, I feel like her family is further away, geographically further away than her. And I feel like she has a lot of friends around her, but she also feels like I'm independent. I'm on my own. I feel that reading and books, I said that before, so I'm going to kind of go into what's really interesting to her. I feel like she likes to learn new things. She's always about learning. And she's always and she's somewhat creative. She's can I feel like she's another do-it-yourself kind of gal, where she would learn how to crochet, or she would learn how to make things, or she would learn how to fix her house or fix where she is by looking stuff up in a book or looking up stuff online. Laura, I'm with you. Are you with me again, Laura? This is this whole session. Tell me what are you getting here?
All of it, the crocheting, the crafts, the learning new things on her own, moving away from family.
Okay.
Nancy, there's also somebody on the live, Kim Cliff Williams, who said at first sounded about right to me till you said a widow, and she was strawberry blonde. And then my mom worked for DCF, And she lived in Indiana, and all her kids were in Massachusetts.
Okay, okay. Oh, there she is. Work for DCF sounded about right to me till you said.
It's probably her. Probably
So
with her.
do you want, so listen, to both of you, I was saying she was either widow or divorced, but she was alone at the end of her life. Whoever she had as a partner earlier, she no longer had that partner. And so could you take that too? And she was strawberry blonde too. She was strawberry blonde. Is that what you're saying, Kim? I hope Kim's still there. There you go. She passed us and she was home alone. Okay, great. She was home alone. And she was she had a she had a kid. She had 1 or 2 children. She had kids. Good. I don't know if she said yes to that. Yeah, that's right. Because she said all of her kids were in Massachusetts. I'm not with the program here. I want to say that you could, so Kim, hang 3 girls saying, so hang it with me, Kim. Towards the end of her life, she either moves in with one of her girls, or she has to move over to Massachusetts, or somebody comes in and takes care of her. Maybe it's not her child, but I feel like I can't manage on my own anymore. So there's a talking about her either moving or there's somebody taking care of her coming into the house. Do you understand that, Kim? Hopefully you can see me draw, Kim. You know what? Are you seeing this drawing happening?
People said they still can't see the drawing.
Okay, I'm going to work on that for a second. Take a little break here.
And Kim says that her sister moved to Indiana and she passed about 6 months later.
Okay. I'm with Kim for sure. Thanks for your help. So I have this pin in here. So why wouldn't it show up on the live? Any gurus out there?
Maybe the main screen is a host. Only host is online. Maybe.
Let me try this one.
I see the drawing.
You see that?
No one else sees the drawing?
I'm gonna spotlight this.
No, I
People
see it.
on Facebook Live are not seeing the drawing, but for us, it's here.
You got it now. Nancy is speaker mode. Yep. You switched.
Oh, there it is. Great. Thanks, guys. I'll have to do this again because we're working out all the bugs here. All right. So did you guys on Facebook Live see the drawings? I'll pop the other drawings in so you can see them. I want to put glasses on her. I have her wearing her hair a little bit shorter, and it's got a nice curl or body. It has a lot of body to it. I focusing on drawing. Sometimes that happens. I get quiet while I'm drawing. I feel like she lives very modestly, and I could just picture the house in Indiana. It's a very Midwest kind of looking house. I don't think it's a split ranch, but I feel like it's more of a kind of a ranch style with, but maybe there's a finished basement underneath there, or so it feels like kind of a house I would have grown up in a Midwest modest house. And I feel like it may have had some brickwork on it as well. And she lives in a a bedroom community, very much a neighborhood. You could almost walk down to the store, the corner store, or the things are fairly close together. In the early days, but of course things got built up.
Kim says that her mom did wear glasses and hair above the shoulders, and yes, ranch style house.
Well, we're just on a roll with you, Kim. Thank you so much for taking her. I slip these glasses on. Your mom, very smart, very caring person, very up with what's happening around her, and salt of the earth kind of gal. She gives you, Kim, she's just thrilled that you had the chutzpah to reach all the way through the internet and through Zoom and tell me that she's there with you. She's giving you the message that she's giving you is to remember to keep both feet on the ground. You also have a Midwestern kind of feel to you in that you're just salt of the earth. You're just keep things simple for yourself. And oh yeah, she volunteered at the Salvation Army, very giving person. And I feel like you have that also, that very giving part of yourself as well. And she's very attentive to you and your life, and she's been paying attention to everybody in the family since she's passed, and she gives you her love and blessings. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward, and you'll find the things that make you happy. I feel like you're still kind of moving towards exploring things in your life and moving towards what else you want to do, or where else do your talents lie. And she says she's encouraging you, keep looking, keep trying, and life is always a moving target. Enjoy yourself. So I give you her love, Kim, and thank you so much for taking this. And I'll take a snapshot of this and post this all on Facebook Live. I mean on the Facebook underneath when we're done the recording. So thank you. That was great feedback from Kim as well. I think that and Kim says, and that sounds like her, and wow, I'm undecided about moving to Florida. All right, you're gonna figure it out soon. Oh, thanks. Kim's gonna send her a picture. It's wonderful. So we're coming to the end of the hour. So I think I'm gonna wind it down. This was a really interesting session where you could see where in mediumship sometimes we have split links, and sometimes people don't know what you're talking about, and somebody else knows what you're talking about, but they're across the room. And so this is how mediumship kind of goes. But I really want to thank everybody for coming on. So you can unmute yourself. Does anybody have any questions?
You're fantastic as always, Nancy. Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm just like speechless. This is great. And your sketch is very accurate. I have to look for a picture, but I will send you later too.
This is, since I'm going to show these sketches because we didn't have it on Facebook Live. This is Pavel. This is your grandmother. And
yeah, she was younger. This is really accurate. Yes.
When she was younger. And this is Shannon, her father-in-law. And this is Laura Joseph, mostly your mom. and your grandmother. But so I'm gonna remove the spotlight, and thank you for all the volunteers for coming on, and I if you think I should do this again, what do you think? Yes.
Oh yeah, that was great. I love it.
All right. So thanks for everyone for coming on. And I didn't touch everybody, but that's kind of that's spirit for you, right? So you can reach me at angelscapes.net, and all my information is there. You could, if you're seeing me on Facebook, you can find me at Nancy at Angelscapes on Facebook. Message me if you have any questions. I have more samples on my website, angelscapes.net, if you want to see them. And if you have any other questions, just private message me and I'll answer them. And I'll see if there's any questions in the chat. No, I think I got them all, but this was exciting. This was fun. I'm going to be up all night because I'm really wound up. So, and I hope to see you, and I'll reach out to you again really soon. So, so the final say is that I bring these things to the podcast so that you guys can see all the different tools that you can use and access to help you have a spirit-led or a soul-filled life, and to move forward and understand that life is so much more than we see right in front of us, and that you're loved and that you're never alone. And I ask that you all go forward with a lot of courage, a lot of grace, stay safe, and experiment with all the spiritual stuff. And I'm going to sign off now. Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining the Angelscapes podcast. We hope you've gained new insights and inspiration for your journey to uncover and access your soul's power. For more information and a deeper dive into finding clarity in your life, go to angelscapes.com. Remember to subscribe so you can be part of the discussion. It may just change your life. See you next time.